Welcome back to NASCAR The Game Inside Line Custom Season for Race 15 of 36. Today we will be at Michigan International Speedway for the running of the Quiken Loans 400. Last week at Pocono, Denny Hamlin became the first driver to go back-to-back and wins this season. He has 4 wins to his total, winning Texas, Bristol, Dover, and Pocono. He's looking to be a strong threat for the Championship 4 by the looks of it. As we look at the Fast 10, Greg Biffle joins Dylan Murray, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jr., Clint Boyer, Matt Kenseth, and Kevin Harvick will round out the top 10. Let's go racing. Pace car is off. Dylan Murray, Greg Biffle will lead the field down for 40 laps today in the Quiken Loans 400 as we are underway at Michigan. Inside lane really hasn't gotten a lot of momentum yet as Dylan Murray has fallen all the way to the 4th spot. Dale Jr. actually had a couple winless streaks broken at this track. He had one broken in 2008, one broken 4 years later, ironically. As Greg Biffle will lead the first lap, Dale Jr. moving straight to the inside part of the lane. Couldn't tell if he was trying to get behind Dylan Murray, maybe give him a nudge down the front stretch. But so far it is a 3-car breakaway being led by Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards being the tail end of it, and it's about to be a 5-car. Looked like it was about to be a 5-car group for a second, but Dylan overdrove the corner. Dylan Murray has slid all the way to the 7th spot. Going to tuck in behind Matt Kenseth, give him a little shot in the 1. And he continues to lose more spots as he falls well outside the top 10 here. Dylan trying to maybe just look for a spot in line. Giving Tony a little tap. As Dylan Murray is, wow, he's tight. That's a tight race, makings of a tight race car. Within 3 laps, he has fallen from 1st to 15th. Could there be an issue with the car? Let's listen in. You're slowing up bad, dude. You're tight. Yeah, it's because nobody wants to freaking draft with me. Freaking Junior tried to move. I was hoping Junior would move down and push me going down the front stretch, so maybe we'd get to him, but I can't seem to get anybody to work with me for some reason. Yeah, I agree. They were racing a bit hard for the first couple of laps, but now at this point, they're just settling in, and what he's going to have to do is maybe get a little aggressive to get in line as he side drafts off the side of the 22. But then again, the problem is back here, you're also using more fuel. And the problem is you better hope the guy behind the guy in front lets you in. See, Kurt Busch was nice because it's lap 5. He's not going to do the same thing if it's lap 35. Greg Biffle has notoriously had strong cars here at Michigan. In fact, the entire Jack Roush stable has been pretty strong historically at this place. With Greg Biffle, Carl, and Matt Kenseth leading the way, and Carl Edwards locking up a couple wins at this place. Obviously, June 2007 and August of 2008. in Michigan. Matt Kenseth has locked up some wins. Same with the 16 of Greg Biffle. He got his second career win here, actually. Ironically, granted it was in the August race, but he still got his second career win at this particular track. As Dylan Murray is already overly using those right sides. Opening, as you can see on our little graphic on the left side that shows tire wear, the right sides are much redder than the left sides. Are just slightly red going into turn one because he's putting all the load on the right side. A car that you can tell that he's tight because he's forced to use his brakes more so he didn't go up the racetrack and into the wall. And it looks to me like green flag pit stops are beginning to take shape. Probably be a good time for Dylan to come into pit lane, or not, as he goes to the outside. He will pit next time by. Sorry, he'll pit this time. Pit this time, dude. Pit this time. All right. Green flag pit stops continue. A lot of cars are on pit road, all except for maybe a handful. Literally half the field just went down pit road. Almost like Talladega. Yeah, a little more. Dylan Murray heads down pit road. There are cars coming out of the racetrack. There's only 2 that have not stopped on this round of stops today. So begins the second round of green flag stop. First round of green flag stops. Is literally this happened in 2 giant waves. So Austin Dillon is still your leader. There's now your leader. That was the first group of cars that pitted. And we'll see if everybody looks like they blend in. Looks like they blend in okay. And the caution has come out. First time today. And it is for David Stremme. Oh, no, it was up ahead. David Stremme lands right in front of Trevor Bayne and gets turned going into turn 3.
The safety crews are clear of the track.
Casey Mears is now your race leader, with Josh Wise in third, by the way. Well, this happened. We were working lap 10, but now we're restarting on lap number 12. Greg Biffle probably looks to take the lead this time. Casey Mears has 1 win to his NASCAR career. Obviously, one of the crown jewel races kind of solidifies you as a driver, and always being a factor of during the Brickyard always helps as well, especially in qualifying, as pitting could be interesting here for these 2, but they can't get down. Mears definitely can't. Josh Wise didn't as well. So now Wise is going backwards with the 13 of Casey Mears. That creates a big gaggle near the middle of the pack. Dale Earnhardt Jr. shuffled out of this, the race leader, with Tony Stewart, Greg Biffle, Dylan Murray, and Kevin Harvick, your top 5. And it looks to me like Kyle Busch is in 6th. There's a light blue car trying to tuck in behind the black and white car of Kevin Harvick. Here today in the Quiken Loans 400, Dale Jr. won this event in 2012, putting on a similar performance you're seeing right now in the early stages since he cycled out front. Could he repeat today virtually on NASCAR Inside the Line, get his 2nd win of the year? We'll just have to wait and see. There's a 3-car breakaway. It seems like, so right now, Carl Edwards is the fastest on the racetrack if we're looking at lap times. But Dylan Murray is getting close. Didn't really have a decent exit off 4. As so far it's a 3-car breakaway up front. And, well, it's technically 6. Harvick and Busch are in a second group. And it probably looks like, if need be, one of them may take the other to the front. So 16 laps complete. We are working lap 17. Dylan Murray coming out of 2. Earnhardt Jr. is your new leader. Is still leading. Used to be Greg Biffle in the early stages. So far, I think everybody's just riding out what could be a long green flag run, which Michigan is notorious for those. Same with the track we're going to on Saturday, which is Sonoma. We're going to on Saturday, which is Sonoma. That begins at 4 Eastern. And it looks like Junior, Stewart, and Biffle are going to peel off. And Dylan's going to join him. Yeah, that's a hard entrance. And here we go. Casey Mears shuffles back to the lead. And the second round of green flag pit stops begin. Will they be interrupted by another 10-lap caution? Dale Jr. is off pit road first. Dylan Murray tucks in right behind Busch as the yellow comes right out. Oh, big wreck. Turn 3. Big crash. Carl Edwards, Marcus Ambrose. How'd that happen? That was interesting. So everybody from Casey Mears on back pitted. Looked like I saw Marcus Ambrose as another car that was involved in that. And that's the second caution flag of the day.
You stay in your lane to cross start finish line.
Pace car is off, and we are back to racing.
Outside.
Junior takes the lead going into one. He left the door open for Stewart. Checks the outside lane up quite a bit. And with the strategy of Dylan pitting, not only that, having a caution come out right after, looks like he may have put himself in a great position to win this race unless we get more cautions. Tony Stewart cycled out as your leader. Dylan Murray was able to follow him through, so that is probably going to be a 6-car group behind. Dylan tries to break the draft. Dylan putting the fender power early off too. Can't seem to clear Stewart, so Dylan's going to slide right in behind him. Ooh, almost a big moment there. Dylan gets into the wall and nearly gets spun off the front of Junior. Carl Edwards is still your race leader. He is still the fastest car. Tony Stewart is your race leader. Right now. As Dylan Murray trying to get a run at Stewart. And he's going to have it here. Breaks the draft down to the bottom, down to the top, and into the lead at Michigan. Well, he thought about shoving, but guess he got out of it. Let's go ahead and go on board the Mountain Dew Chevy. Could see one more pit stop by the time this race is done. Dylan couldn't pull away from Stewart, so now Dale Jr. is going to come into this mix with a couple light blue cars behind him. So now I got a 5-car pod up front, and Dylan Murray is just stringing them along. Dylan Murray with a 3/4 of a second lead over Tony Stewart, and the lead will continue to grow with 14 laps to go. Tony Stewart seems to kind of pull Dylan around in a seesaw, sort of. His only win at this track came in 2000, and Tony just blew by Dylan like he was standing still. Illinois trying to get the power down off of the corner, come right back to Stewart's bumper. Almost getting, well, he did get in the wall there. And it looks like we got some more cars heading to pit lane. And Stewart is one of them. And it looks like Dylan Murray may be pitting. He will be pitting right now, actually. As he's leading the middle stages of this race. And it's going to be interesting to see if there's another crash that causes a yellow to come out. So while that goes on, Dylan Murray he did pit until, he is pitting now. He's actually the leader, and depending on how things play out, could cycle out the leader. Last couple cars on pit road. And here comes Dylan Murray out of the pits with Landon Castle in tow. Tony Stewart cycles back to the lead. There are 11 laps of racing left. Tony Stewart is one of the drivers that needs a win to get into the chase. He has not won this year. In fact, most of this top five hasn't, as the caution has come out. Possibly on the backstretch again. Yep. This time, Regan Smith. Oh, it was in front of him. Two cars get together. Regan Smith, Brad Keselowski, and Juan Montoya ultimately end up being involved. Tony Stewart and Greg Biffle on the front, and Dale Jr. on the front row. Greg Biffle and Dylan Murray in row 2. Ricky Stenhouse and Sam Hornish in row 3. Any of these drivers can punch their ticket into the playoffs with a win. Tony Stewart with a great restart as Dylan Murray comes right in front of the 6 of Stenhouse. Biffle could take the lead right back. Just a fair warning. Tony Stewart has the lead. Which way does he go? Does he go with his buddy Junior? Looks like he's going to do that. Biffle takes the lead almost. Maybe, sort of. Can he clear him? Here comes Dylan Murray to the back of Stewart with a huge shove back to the point. Well, Tony did barely get the lead at the line. And around goes Stenhouse into the fence. And, oh, wow. Collects several. How many did that? Yeah. That was a violent shot. Dylan Murray, Ricky Stenhouse skating towards the wall. Stenhouse shoots into traffic. Everybody dies. Ricky Stenhouse pulled a LePage right there. Seems like such a Stenhouse thing to do, to be honest. Joey Logano is now out front. Yeah, it came down. Tell Stenhouse I'm sorry, please. Hope he understands. 6 to go. Joey Logano and Carl Edwards could fight for the win. Edwards has had a fast car. Edwards is looking for his second win of the year to join Dylan Murway and Kevin Harvick as the other drivers with 2 wins. Dylan Murway has just ran Landon Castle out of the way, basically, forcing him to lose some spots. Here's Joey Logano in second. Five to go at the line. Edwards leads. Logano is second. Dylan is about to close up to the back of the 20. Clint Boyer cycled out to fourth. There are cars on pit road, possibly for their last round of green flag stops. And, big trouble. The leaders into Logano. Ooh, hard hit. Ooh, that looked hard. That looked like a hard crash. Oh, nope. No, boy. That, Bobby Labonte, just, wow. Clint Boyer, Bobby Labonte, Joey Logano, and more. And Carl Edwards involved, as Edwards didn't put the hand out the window fast enough. Wow. So Logano and Boyer get spun because Edwards didn't check up. Oh. Yeah, Logano hooked Boyer as he spun down. Probably didn't expect that to happen. So now Robbie Gordon could possibly be an upset winner. In third, Guapo fifth, Danica ninth, Paul Menard 10th. You bet Robbie Gordon's going to be going for it here with 2 to go. Late restart at Michigan. Let's go. Edwards with the run off of 2. Could get a run off 2 here. Dylan throws a huge block on the 7 to Robbie Gordon. Now it's just 2 cars fighting for the win. Edwards and Dylan. Dylan trying to go to the outside. He's looking for a grip of some sort. Oh, Dylan hit the wall hard that time. Question is, will he hold on? 2 to go. Carl Edwards with the runoff 2. And down the backstretch, he's able to pull away by 3/10. Kevin Harvick could take the spot here. It looks like we may have some cars coming to pit road. As we head off of turn 4, and it is Edwards. Oh, another one off of pit road. Harvick. Oh, another wreck. You think after last time Edwards did that, he'd have known to stick his damn hand out the window. Somehow, Edwards didn't get clobbered in that. Overtime. Take 1 at Michigan. 2 laps of racing left. Dylan Murway, Danica Patrick had walked away with her first win this year. Kevin Harvick takes the lead going into 1. Can he become the set driver with the second most wins this year? The inside lane did not get a good start at all. Ooh. Almost a big moment there between Dylan and Danica. At this point, Dylan Murway is just sending it right now. Harvick, Stewart, and Newman coming off of turn 4. They will see the... Oh, another crash. Oh, big pile up, turn 4. Wow, Truex hard into the wall. That is a hard shot. Truex got air. Truex is in it. Carl Edwards again. Third wreck in probably the last few minutes. Jamie McMurray, Denny Hamlin, Casey Kane, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, Joey Logano again, David Gilliland, Travis Quapple. Wow. How did this all start? It was a big cluster of cars coming to the pits. They all stack up. Truex darts into several... Oh, wow. Several cars dart into the wall. Tony Stewart and Ryan Newman peel into pit road. Second green white checkered attempt. Knowing how skewed this... Hey, Trevor, you want to push? Yes, sir. Do what I can. Trevor Bayne is up in fourth, probably looking for his best finish since winning the Daytona 500 earlier in 2011. He gets a terrible start. Danica tucks right in line with the 10 of Dylan, or 25 of Dylan Murway. Oh, Keselowski goes around. And does he sit there? Not sure. He did get going. Stacking up. And the final another caution. Yep. Big damage to the front of Keselowski. So now we're on the final attempt. At this point, if you don't pit, you were toast. As they head down to pit road for what will be the last stop of the day regardless. The moment of truth. Thought it'd be a wild restart. Bobby Labonte cycles out front as the race leader. Oh boy. Final restart. You're racing back regardless at this point. Could Kurt Busch take the lead here? You got 2 laps. Bobby Labonte, he is in the top 30 in points. If he wins, he's in the chase. That'll be a bracket buster. Kurt Busch takes the lead off 2. There's going to be a lot of cars hitting pit road, though. Most of this might be from the crowd that stayed out. In fact, all of it's going to be from the crowd that stayed out. The white flag waves as there's a wreck behind them. The green flag is still out. Well, it's going to be out regardless. Kurt Busch has been through a lot in his career. Hot-headed temper. as they field wrecks all over and a violent crash. Several cars retired on the backstretch. Kurt Busch, he's been through a lot, from losing a ride at Penske, going to the bottom runs. Welcome back to victory lane, Kurt. You win at Michigan. Wow. Definitely a good way to win at Michigan. Kurt Busch gets the first win for James Finch this year in the 51 car, compared to nearly winning the 500 first time out. Carl Edwards, best run he's had in a while. Clint Boyer, Landon Castle, top 5. Dylan Murway ends up 6th. David Gilliland, Tony Stewart ends up 8th. And let's see, there were several cars that retired on the wreck on the last lap. Scott Speed was the car that turned into traffic. Jeff Gordon. He had several good runs leading up to this. Fortunately, he retired. So let's look at how the final lap broke down. So, green flag. Going through here. 3 cautions, 4, 5, 6. So Jeff Gordon ended up finishing last. As the whole field exploded on the second attempt. I thought at least we were going to get a few DNFs here. Kurt Busch, see that 51 right there off in the distance? Was about to be in this accident. Truex smashes into the wall. Dylan Murway ended up coming from the 30s almost to finish 6th. See how Keselowski loops the car around. And this is the final restart. So as there was a crash behind, so the first crash happening off turn 4, how'd this all start? So Trevor Bayne, another hard hit. So Bayne, Harvick, Hamlin, by the looks of it, Casey Kane is in it. Juan Pablo Montoya, Brad Keselowski, Jamie McMurray, they were in the first accident. You can fit those 5 in a nice little glamour shot. And a couple cars down there. Danica Patrick was also jacked up in this accident as well. So the second incident. Wow, watch Scott Speed. Look at that. I think somebody went upside down. Look at that. This entire pack exploded, basically. Consider this Michigan's version of the big one. Mark Martin, Joe Nemechek, Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart found an opening, made it through. So there's how Jeff Gordon got DNF'd, because he ended up in that accident. I believe he ended up getting into the back of Mark Martin and just getting accordion. So Hornish, Biffle, Robbie Gordon, pretty much everybody behind them flew into this. Pretty much full speed. And somehow, nobody got upside down. But pretty much everybody in this group it was part of this crash. It looked like Tony Stewart was about to make it through, but as cars came across, he was clipped by Jeff Gordon, who was smoldering into the inside wall. So Mark Martin, several cars ended up in this. And it was pretty much everybody. And it looked like Robbie Gordon with a massive shot. He got jacked up. Joey Logano was about ready to do the same. And then that was the rest of the crashing. We go to a road course this Saturday, by the way. These cars don't really handle around the tight turns of Sonoma. Curious to see how it goes. You can tune in Saturday at 4 Eastern for the Toyota Save Mart 350. Kurt Busch, by the way, will punch his ticket into the chase, so one less spot today for anybody looking to get in. Guys like Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart. Stewart ended up finishing 8th out of all this. So, final list of cars that were involved in this accident. So you got Jeff Burton. Curious, who was involved in that second incident? I'm curious now. Regan Smith. Robbie Gordon ends up ricocheting all over the place. Tony Stewart is in it. Nemechek's in it. Gordon's in it. Amarola's in it. Greg Biffle. Paul Menard. David Strenny. David Reagan. Matt Kenseth involved. That beautiful American flag paint job. Honoring the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is wrecked. Scott Speed is wrecked. So everybody that was in this crash is wrecked. I'm curious. So I did, in that second caution, I saw Marcus Ambrose and Carl Edwards spinning. So second yellow here. Alrighty. Looks like we won't know the mystery. So, anyways, Kurt Busch wins today at Michigan. Tune in this Saturday at 4 Eastern for the running of the Toyota Safe Mart 350 from Sonoma Raceway.